Answer.
All right, we are back on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. You're listening to Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Get on my website, shalomklein.com. Lots of great advice, tips, and information for all of you small business owners, entrepreneurs. It's a trying time right now. We're in the midst of a pandemic, but this is the time that it all matters for small business. This is the time that we need to support each other. That's why I have my good friend, Howard Meyer, the executive director of the Skokie Chamber of Commerce. Listeners to this program know how passionate I am about our Skokie small business community and many of the events right now. Not a lot of events in person, so don't leave your house, but there are many ways that you can support local businesses, both in the Skokie area and beyond. So Howard, thank you for joining me on the air.
Thank you very much for having me, Shalom. Very honored.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind, Howard, describe to me what your reaction was when you heard the stay-at-home order from the governor, and what was your immediate reaction and how the chamber and your team sort of leapt into action.
Well, I don't know if I can actually articulate what came out of my mouth on the air, but it was definitely a surprise. And we tried to mobilize as best as we could to support the area businesses and get information out that would help them. We're a small office staff, as most chambers of commerce are, and we're working with the village, with area businesses to help them to continue to not necessarily grow during this time, but thrive and keep the doors open.
And what are you hearing from your member businesses and really beyond? I mean, bottom line, we're all in this together, and everybody sees the, buy a gift card and support your local businesses. But what are they saying? Are we going to make it out of this?
I think we're definitely going to make it out of this. When you take a look at how all the businesses pooled together during 9/11, during the 2008 crash, we'll definitely make this out of this. But it's very scary. We've never had an economic shutdown like this before. So area businesses are running scared. The employees are quite concerned. I think there's a lot of hope out there for when this ends, and hopefully there'll be a renewed vigor and a renewed appetite for doing business and going out and supporting local businesses.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if when the stay-at-home order finishes and, husbands and wives get out and run over to their local restaurant and want to go on a date night together, and then, kids and grandkids want to jump on a plane and visit and give a hug to their parents, grandparents. Hopefully we can do those things, but it really it takes a village and coming together. So tell us a little bit about the business community in Skokie and sort of what makes it unique.
Well, Skokie is quite unique. I grew up in neighboring Lincolnwood during the 70s and 80s. At the time, it was Skokie South. It was a very homogeneous, ethnocentric neighborhood. Now Skokie is an extremely diverse community. We have over 90 different languages and dialects spoken in the community, in the high school districts, the homes that feed the high school districts. It really makes doing business quite unique because the business people need to reach out to the different ethnic communities. The different ethnic communities are certainly represented in the area businesses. It's really a very exciting community to be representing.
And Howard, I don't want to dwell just on the situation that we're in, because I am 100% confident, like you, that we will get out of this because of the strength of our community. So I know you're very passionate about policy as well, and I know that you've been advocating on behalf of businesses together with other chambers using a multi-community approach. Tell us sort of the role of the chamber in that regard.
Well, the Skokie Chamber, when I took over the chamber almost 15 years ago, was a relatively small chamber. It's grown organically over the years. We're one of the larger chambers in the northern suburbs. And I really feel that it's our responsibility to support the neighboring chambers, some of the smaller chambers, to help them grow, thrive, succeed. I feel that if our neighboring chambers have successes, it really gives all of us a really good name. I strongly believe in what's known as Niles Township, which are the 4 communities, Skokie, Lincolnwood, Morton Grove, and Niles. And the 4 directors work quite closely together, sharing expertise, programming. I really think that collaboration is good for everybody, not only the chambers, but all the businesses that are within the chambers and the broader community.
Absolutely. And Howard, I'm going to have to squeeze in a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the sort of current resources that are available. I know that there will be some small business lending and things like that. So I'd love to dive a little bit deeper into those topics as well. But again, I'm chatting with Howard Meyer, the Executive Director of the Skokie Chamber of Commerce, an amazing organization. Shameless plug. I mean, regardless of where you live, I know we have listeners from all over the place, and support your local business community. Get involved in your chamber. That's one of the things that we can do to make sure our business community not only survives, but as Howard said, thrives post this situation. You're listening to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Chicago, don't touch that bell. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Shalom.
560, The Answer.
We are back on Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, returned by my guest, Howard Meyer from the Skokie Chamber of Commerce. Howard and I were just chatting about some of the resources and how businesses, the small business community in Skokie and in other communities as well, are truly strong communities, and it takes a village to come together. But right now, it's late breaking news. There are some new resources that have been passed on the federal level that will trickle down. And Howard, I know that you have been using the chamber office, remote office, I should say, following the stay-at-home order, to disseminate the information and help make sure that those that are eligible have access. Let's talk a little bit about some of those resources.
Sure. And just to clarify, the chamber office is open limited hours. We're considered, of course, an essential business. So we have a total of 4 employees, including myself, and we are alternating so we can be present and available to the area of businesses. We've really re-strategized over the last few weeks from our normal lives, chamber lives, coaching, networking, education, workforce development. And we're really trying to be an advocate for local businesses, answering a lot of questions, doing triage. We're finding with the economic shutdown, a lot of the businesses are certainly scared of cash flow, of paying their rents, paying their employees. So we're really, as a first touch point, guiding our area businesses to the Village of Skokie, to its website, to its comprehensive list of resources. We're now sending out daily email blasts to support our businesses with links to the SBA site, the CARE Act. They're looking for payroll assistance, federal programs, state programs. So we're really trying to be a resource, also be an advocate, also guide people to local restaurants that they need, provide a resource to those local restaurants in terms of hiring delivery drivers as they re-strategize from dine-in to curbside pickup and carry-out. One thing that was very exciting for our local restaurants is that the state of Illinois loosened up liquor ordinances, allowing our restaurants in the state to deliver packaged liquor, wine and beer. So notifying those restaurants that have the proper liquor licenses that they can do so. So really just being a resource in general is what we're here for at the present time.
Well, so we can do a virtual happy hour this evening. Sounds like a plan. Looking forward to it. So Howard, you, the Skokie Chamber, as well as many other local area chambers, have partner together. We talked a little bit about some of the ways that you develop initiatives to advocate collectively on behalf of your area members. But one of the ways is in partnership with an organization that I care deeply about, the Small Business Advocacy Council. Talk about some of the things that have been going on through that organization and what they do. Okay.
Our partnership with the Small Business Advocacy Council has really been a bright light in my tenure. It's an organization that does advocacy on behalf of small businesses, legislative advocacy both in Springfield and in Washington. And they have a reach that local chambers really cannot have. Over the past several years, we're one of the founding chambers of the organization. The SBAC has had some wonderful successes in Springfield, including lowering LLC fees for local businesses. They got rid of some antiquated liquor ordinances that were saddling restaurants and bars unfairly. Right now, they're working on some really very relevant legislation in Springfield, including trying to get the employee hiring tax credit put back in place, as well as a really creative piece of legislation that will allow employers to offer the benefit of paying off student loans for their employees and getting tax credits. So they're really at the touch point of some really relevant items in Springfield and in Washington, and we're really thrilled to partner with them.
Yeah, we are stronger together. We know that. So that's exciting progress already, and I'm confident that much good will come actually out of a tough situation, and hopefully businesses will be encouraged to come together and have some strength in numbers. So we are just about out of time, Howard, and I want to make sure that our listeners know where they can find out more about the Skokie Chamber of Commerce. And I mean, again, shameless plug, I said this earlier, but how is a good time to look into your local Chamber of Commerce, regardless of where you live, get involved, support them, support the local businesses. But Howard, how can people get a hold of you?
All right. We are accessible online at www.skokiechamber.org. I'd also recommend going on to the village website, which is www.skokie.gov. And we've got at our chamber wonderful businesses that we're affiliated with, Skokie's top businesses. We have over 640 local businesses, anything from mom and pop businesses to multinational huge corporations. So anything you're looking for, I would start at the chamber and go from there.
All right. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Howard. And thank you for all of the hard work that you're doing on behalf of local area businesses and entrepreneurs. I'll look forward to having you back on under more pleasant times, but thanks again for all that you're doing. You're listening to Get Down to Business, and we'll be right back.
Did you miss the open enrollment?